Yes, those are termites. Yeah. Good. Okay, so on this guy, I like to show you an example of how my stuff looks like even before I put color on it, right? So a lot of the times I would just sketch these. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Here. Okay. So this is 1 to 100, right? So these are 1 to 100. This is 1 to 50, right? So these are just some examples that I'd like you to be able to emulate, right? You guys already have things that you trace from? Yes? Okay. So what I always have my students do, there's like books and books on this stuff, or like pages and pages online to be able to do this. But I always just like them to be able to have some easy ones that you can just, that look good, don't take a lot of time, but are semi-presentable, yeah? So that's why I've got some example of shrubs, right? What do you think that one is right there? I got one. Favorite. And look, right there next to it. What's that? It's a butterfly. It's a native East African butterfly, right? I'm excited. Look, there's a proboscis, right? That's the fancy little straw. Yeah. Coming in. Yep. So these are just some examples. I generally just use, because I'm too, well, not too lazy, but I'm pressed for time. So most of the time, all of my rendering just happens with a regular pencil, because I press down hard enough that I can make it work. Yeah. But what I would advise you to do, we're not going to have time to do this, but what I would want you to do is I want you to trace these, the exact detail you see there. Yeah. Hang on, wait. You guys are gonna do that in your own time. Okay, that's tonight. Because then I want you to once you trace these to the exact detail, you're gonna come in and you're not just gonna go squiggle. You're gonna really look at that thing and try to make it jump around like I'm doing here. Yeah, right. And then you're gonna come in here and you're gonna use that variable line width, because that's what makes pencils look so good, is that you can really get that variable line width going in there, right? So once you trace it once, it's going to be a little bit into your brain, right? And then you're going to take the whole nother sheet and you're just going to draw right next to it without tracing it. Yeah? You have a blank sheet. You're going to have the one you traced, and you're going to look at the one you traced right here. And then below that or next to it, you're going to draw it by hand and emulate it. Yeah? Okay? Good? So that's homework. I'm not going to grade it. But I heard that you won't get to graduate until it's completed, okay? Yeah. People didn't say that, or they did, okay? So it's pretty serious. No, but remember, if you can draw, you get to design, right? So what I want is I just want you to practice these, yeah? So give yourself that time, yeah? Draw it, trace it once. When I teach my hand graphics class, I have them trace it once, draw it twice, yeah? And that's just the start. Yeah. And then the rest of the semester, I'm hammering them if it doesn't look good, right? I'm like, that tree doesn't work, erase it, redraw. Yeah. Because I want you to have a toolkit with just a pencil and be like, you know what? For this design, I'm going to put a person in here, and then we're going to be like, oh, there's some sort of shrub that's about this tall, right? And then, of course, there's a, this is a bird of paradise that's actually flanking both of these. Yeah. And then we have one, there's a Chinese palm, right? It's looking kind of like this. I just want you to have those tool sets and develop that so that real quickly you can start to study things, right? So I'm going to charge the client for an hour for that 5 minutes. He's kidding. But I can quickly convey ideas that look halfway presentable, right? Instead of spending like 4 days making this in Photoshop, I can draw something. I can find out, I can go to the client and be like, hey, this is what I was thinking for your beautiful little walkway to your garden. And he's going to say, but I hate those agapanthus. And you're like, hey, no problem. Like, we'll change that. Like, what's your favorite? And he'll say, oh, well, it's very common. It's called Ruellia. And I'm like, yeah, I know that one. Right? My students didn't know that one, but I do. Right? And I draw a little bit different. Okay? So we can do it quickly. Yeah? So that's why you're gonna trace these, and you're gonna make them look good, yeah? And it's the same process that we used in plan view, right? I'm gonna outline these things, right? With my little jumpy pencil, right? And I'm using a chisel tip normal pencil. I'm gonna come over here to the edge of the paper, I'm gonna chisel it down, right? And that's gonna give me a lot of the ability to do thick and thin lines that I'm pressing down and pulling up, yeah? Right? And just by that, you can start to have, is it a tree branch? Is it the, oh, here it is. Look at this, ready? It's Mount Kenya, right? You guys have heard of that, right? Right, but you want to see the face, right? So then you come in with that 45-degree hatching, right? And in the background, that hatching is kind of light, and then in the foreground it starts to be a little bit background, it's a little darker, right? Then in the foreground, you got a lot of detail, which make it real dark. Yeah. Okay. So just like we talked about in plan view, we said light, right? So in perspective or elevation, I'm going to do light in the background, right? Press down lighter, mid-tone, and then dark in the foreground, okay? So that's dark with high contrast. That means a lot of white or bright next to dark, yeah? It really draws your eye, brings it forward, high contrast. Okay? Good? So these are for you to practice, yeah? Here's me. You can always remember me, yeah? And you'll see me tomorrow with my sweet hat, looks like this, right? The 70 gave it to me. I was thinking John in the 70, he gave me a hat. He didn't. Can you delete that? But I'm not saying that I wouldn't accept one if he gave me one, okay? So look, yeah, right? And I always have, anytime I'm drawing in section, yeah, I always have a person, right? This little line right here is, I think it's 1.4 meters tall. Maybe one, yeah. Isn't it, or it should be 1.6. Yes. 1.6, right? 1.6 is 5.5 feet, right? Yeah, so about 1.6. And then when I draw people, what I do, here's a quick little lesson, especially tomorrow when we're out sketching people. I generally make the head float because I don't want to draw the neck. I draw the body, and then I draw the legs, right? Now look, generally as rules of proportion, half of the body, one half, is head and torso, right? The other half is giraffe legs, right? So that's just general human anatomy. This looks best. If you do this, or you draw a head, and then like a tiny body, right? You know, it really starts to make people feel scared, right? It's like something. It's like, is that like Slender Man or something? I've never seen that movie, but it's a little creepy, right? And then also I see this a lot where people will do they'll draw a head, right? And then they're like this, you know, and then they have these little stumpy legs, you know. Don't do that either. Half and half, yeah. I can give you a sheet for tracing people too, because that's how I learn. I trace people, and then I would sit around and I'd sketch people on them. But then the last thing about drawing people, their arms do not come out of their waists. Okay. Occasionally, you might see somebody like this, like waving, shaking hands, right? But generally, your arms come out of your shoulders, right? Yeah. Right. So make sure that when you draw people, they draw their bodies. You can make them jogging. Look, just by just shorten one leg, then they're running. Yeah. And make sure their arms come out of their shoulders. Not everybody's do, but I'm sketching on that. Right? Cool. So this is your homework, especially in prep for tomorrow, because we're going to do some site sketching. And if you work on these textures, you can draw a halfway decent tree with that little jumpy line stuff and some shading. That's really going to help with sketching. Yeah. Cool. Good. So I'm not going to cover this, but what I am going to do is I'm going to draw this section for us. Yep. Because this is the model we were working on, right? And I'm gonna try to draw this and render it in, the next, that would be, 40 minutes, okay? Because the client's coming. My kids kept me up last night. I overslept and I've got to get it done, right? Yeah. 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 So you guys, if you guys, you could have this from yesterday, yeah? So you're welcome to follow along with me if you want. You can take this one down, yeah? Or you can keep drawing those and you can just watch me do it, okay? Either way. Normally what I like to do is I like to show you how I draw it, and then I give you an hour to draw it yourself, yeah? So feel free, I'm going to leave at 5:30, but you can stay till 6:30, okay? Yes. Yeah. Yeah. You can just see. Okay. Now, most of the time, we try to use is markers, yeah, because they're really fast. So what I'll do is I'll render in pencil on the front, I'll flip it over, and I'll draw in pencil on the front, I'll flip it over, and I'll render it with these guys on the back. These are just alcohol-based markers. Like they almost look like watercolor on straight. I like. Caleb's got some messy. So these are chart pack markers or AD markers by chart pack. They're super awesome. They last a long time, but they are really expensive. Yeah. So when you work somewhere, you should tell them. Hopefully, if they don't have them, you can get some. Now these guys are local, right? You can get these. Where did you get them? Then you really super local. Have you guys seen this before? Yeah. Straight from China. Right? Look at that. Here, okay. Yeah, so these are great. These are you said they're about what? Yeah. 100 300 each, yeah. Okay. So, yeah. I mean, look, listen, this thing is nice. I don't know how long they'll last, but they'll save you a bunch of time. And they're super nice. So maybe you don't get them now, but when you get to a firm, you can always get them and then have a firm piece, yeah? Because these each one of these is $6 American. Yeah, so that's like 6 times 130. It's how much? Yeah, it's a lot. It's like, yeah, it'll last a long time, but yeah, they're expensive. So these options are good, but also I love finding whatever we can use, yeah? So what's this thing called pending, yeah? I wanted to speak it in an option because, so the cool thing about markers is that there are a lot of tasks. You know why? Because look, I can cover, well, I can render a whole tree quite quickly, right? Here, render this whole tree. Yeah? The amount of time it would take me like twice as long to do it with colored pencils, yeah? Yes. So when it comes down to time, markers are awesome, okay? Yeah. But you can always work up into those, yeah? So let's just do this with colored pencils. Now, is if I draw on the front with my pencil, right? Let me just see. I haven't tried this yet, but let's see if it works. If I do my fishtail palm here. Right. If I do that on that side, kind of split it, then do a colored pencil on the back. Because that would be easier. Otherwise, I could do it the way we did our plan yesterday, right? Where I outline everything. I'm curious to see if this will work. Should we look? Let's see. Look, the nice thing about this is that I can do my line work first, right? Yes. You like that, right? But as soon as being done here. What's that? Say again? I'm wondering. Well, I'm wondering if I flip it over, if it's gonna be really, the color is gonna be muted, right? Muted, not as bright, yeah? I mean, it's not too bad, right? The nice thing is that I don't have, remember how yesterday I did all my colors, first right, I was doing another one of these? I would do this first, right? This is generally, if I'm rendering on the front of a trace, this is how I do it, yeah? Do my color first, and then I do my line work second. Here we go. Yeah? So if I was doing this, I want it to be a little bit chiseled so I can get a little bit of. Not bad, huh? I think it would work. What do you think? You like the first one better, really? It is a little, but the colors aren't going to be quite as bright, yeah? But you could probably go on the front. Yeah? All right, so let's do it the fastest way, right? Because the client's coming, yeah? You guys have homework to do. I don't want to leave you here at 7. I don't stop till 7, you'll be here till 10. And it's a holiday. Oh, you don't have to come in until 10. What do you take? Oh, yeah. And you turned down that date yesterday, right? Because the same that. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna rank on the front because I don't have to flip it. Okay, but you saw that technique, right? You do it that way. I'm just gonna kind of do it this way real quick. Everything on the front. We're gonna go quick. So, also, whenever I'm rendering over something I'm tracing, always have a spare sheet of white paper that I can put underneath so I can see what I've drawn and what I haven't. Yeah? Because I'm like, oh yeah, I drew that window, and then I'll like, no, I didn't. Yes, I've always had that underneath. Yeah. Okay, keep that right there. Like a slide up and down. There. Okay. Good. 30 minutes. Now we have one blue. I would probably do, if you ever look at the sky, okay, you guys are gonna look. We'll talk about this tomorrow, yeah? If you're looking at the sky, the higher you're looking up, the darker blue it is, right? You guys know that? Yes. The closer you are to the horizon, the lighter blue it is, yeah? So a lot of times I would do two colored blues here. I would do a darker blue up top, then I'd blend it down, yeah? So we have one blue, and that'll be just fine. So we're gonna come in, we're gonna do something. This 45-degree shape, yeah? Look, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave some white space there. Oh, you can barely see it. Be pretty light. Whatever's okay. Okay. Now also watch. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come in all these windows. The way I do windows, you'll see this tomorrow when we sketch too. So I always try to show where that reflection is. So watch. I'm gonna leave a couple of white spaces in there. Can you guys see those? And that's indicating, yeah, there's like reflections. You can't really see it. This is how I do it. You see it now? No. Yes. It's pretty light. Yeah. But what I try to do is leave some white streaks in there so that you can actually see where there's a reflection in the glass. Yeah, you'll see it a little bit. A little bit darker. Say 45-degree shading, right? And I'm leaving some gaps. Now see those gaps? You can see them a little bit right there. Meaning there's white space, it looks like there's a streak of a reflection right there. Okay? Yeah. I'm not gonna do all the windows, but I'm gonna do a couple of these so you can see how I would treat them, yeah? I would treat them well, I mean, I would. On Friday, we're also going to do some advanced SketchUp. Now I'm gonna draw a perspective for you guys, okay? Similar style, I'll try to give myself a little bit more time in 3 minutes, but do what we can. So all of the windows will be done this way, but for today, I'm only gonna do these 2 buildings worth, yeah? So you can kind of see the streaks, see the breaks. See how there's areas where I've got like that's a reflection here. At least that's kind of what it looks like, yeah? Now, we're gonna do, what does Hawthorne brown look like? Not too bad. Now, listen, the same way that I do depth in drawings, in my background, if it's really far away, I'm gonna put less color and less detail, yeah? Because I want it to fade back, right? And you can even see that in some of these trees, right? My background trees are lighter drawn and less detail, drawn detail in them, right? Yes. These start to recede, and then these have more detail, they start to advance. Okay? Now this one, there isn't that much, like, we're looking at this pretty close, so, but I still want you to focus more on the foreground. So I'm gonna come through and just do a little bit of color on the base of these buildings. This is gonna be kind of a brick. Okay? Now, I am doing the color first, right? Because then I can come back in and I can clean up some of this with the black lines that I'm gonna do, right? Notice how all of this, the shading that I'm doing, it's all the same angle, yeah? Well, guys, that was it. Wrap it up. On the plug. That one has power. Did I step on it? Yeah, I kicked it. Hey! Yeah. You want me to step on it? All right. Wow, it looks so nice. It really doesn't, but when you put the lines on there, it's gonna work, yeah? Now watch, one thing I would do if it were bricks. I'm not gonna draw every brick. They don't pay me that much, right? Yeah. It's gonna come through, I'm gonna get a nice chisel type, I'm gonna come through this. Watch. You guys probably know that trick, right? Now you can get a trick. Yeah. Okay, I would do that for all the buildings. But we don't have time for that today. All right, then maybe the top of this is just maybe some stuff in a little. Same 45 degree. So. Oh, look, maybe there's two different house colors, yeah. Architects love doing that. Ready? Wow. I'll do that for all the buildings. Oh, look, this one's Windows thing, right? Right? There's some detail there. That's a complete chunk. The community down there. Okay. In 45 degrees. Now I'm going to jump in. This is my leafy green. I'm going to do some of these palms. Yeah. Now, when I draw these palms, I'm going to I'm not going to trace it exactly, right? It's always going to look like a trace it from the computer. I want to give these things a little bit of life. No tree looks the exact same, right? I'm going to come through. Wow. I might just do a quick outline like this. Okay. Now that's going to smear a little bit. But I'm going to come back here with a darker line. Yeah. See those guys over there? Really good at hummingbirds coming by. Another one. Remember, we're not tracing it exactly. Wow. Okay. Now, one of the things I like to teach you, the trees are like umbrellas, okay? You guys heard that? Trees are like umbrellas? Yeah. You have heard that, yes? Yeah. Oh, good. Well, I'll show those of you who are remaining silent. Tree is like an umbrella, yeah? So you have a, look at that, isn't that nice? You have the front of the foliage and the back of the foliage, yeah? Yeah. So when I'm drawing a tree, if I'm in section, looking at it straight on. Look, watch how I do the front. Right, I have a little bit of variety. It's not straight over. In the back, peeks through or it doesn't peek through. Yeah. And then the trunk, going to hold that up, whether it's a multi-trunk or not. It's going to go in between there. Look, the back of the umbrella is going to be in shade like this. Okay. Sun's coming from over there. A little bit of shading over here. Okay. There's a termite hatch going on. Okay. Trees are like umbrellas. You want to turn the umbrella, back of the umbrella. Okay. Same thing with palm trees. Some of these fronds underneath are going to be a darker green. Yeah. They're going to be a woodland green. So like a little bit of woodland green on the underside. Tracking? You like it? Good? Now we can come in and actually add some of that final texture on there. But you can see, I don't even line up all of my ones of the grains that I'm doing, right? My favorite thing for palms is to actually come in and still a little bit on a couple of these, I go. What kind of palm is that, guys? Yes, go ahead. Now, I have done a lot of palms in my life, so yours doesn't look like this. It just means you have a good reason to not, or you have a good reason to get old, you know? The more you draw it, the better it will be, yeah? Yes. All right, so those guys are supposed to be in the background. I may have added a little bit too much detail too. I hadn't added the dark green, it would have dropped back and forth, but it's okay. All right, now we have this big tree over here, yeah? This one's actually in front of this palm, so look. I'm gonna come over here, I'm gonna erase some of that beautiful palm I traced, sorry. Sorry, man. Those branches gone. Right, now this tree, I'm gonna make it look kind of like one of these, yeah? Well, the main thing on these is you want to make sure you have these openings where you see the trunks that they're irregular. They don't look the exact same, yeah? Because unless it's cut, you don't get trees that have exactly the same segments all the way down, right? The other thing that's great about site sketching, which we'll do tomorrow, is you can really start to pick up on the nuances of trees, yeah? And their irregular shapes, and how to draw that fairly quickly, yeah? And this light, because I'm gonna do a lot of my colors first. This guy is gonna be in front of that palm. There's gonna be the front of the umbrella, and the back of the umbrella, I'm gonna use some dark green. Then my trunk is gonna come up in the middle. There's a little gap there, then maybe there's another one that happens from here. That's a hole in the leaves, so I can see some of these branches. Yeah. Now let's do this one. We'll start with metal green. Yeah, metal sounds good. Then we'll do some darker green with it. Okay. What's this guy? Is this a jacaranda or what? Pick up on. Or okay. The Lotus Regia. You guys know that one? Yeah. Yes. So that's what it's starting to look like. Yeah. What degree shading am I doing? 45. Look how broad my tip of my pencil is, yeah? So I'm not spending 4 years doing this shading, right? Yeah. If it was really narrow and I was like, what's that? Oh, that was hot. Right. But also I like to add a couple little leaves up here, the wind's blowing, right? Just opens it up, yeah? Yes. So please, termites. Now, darker green is going to be mostly where I'm having some shadow, yeah? Umbrella, yeah? Also, since it's kind of in the foreground, we're going to have a good bit of detail on this plan. Really simple. We'll do this one over here in the background. It should have a lot less detail to it. Right? Then I would come back in with this darker one. Darken a couple of these edges up. Really clean it up. Nice little piece. Something like that. Now watch. Also, this is, I'm gonna go ahead and do this. Hey guys, watch quick. Right, so I'm gonna go ahead and do my shadow. I want to say my shade is coming from over here. Watch. I'm gonna go ahead and come in. Some of these branches are gonna be real dark. Yeah? Okay, we can add a little color to it. All right, okay. 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 Oh, you know what? We didn't put any shrubs right here, but in the plan, right before you get on the plaza, there should be some shrubs right here. Shrubbies, and they're in the mid-ground or foreground, so we can go ahead and add a fair amount of detail on this. Let's use our foliage green. Look at some of these little shapes that we're learning. Yeah. Maybe put some of those and then maybe a couple of those. The way I do that's real simple. I have to erase some of my bricks back there. Yeah, foliage green. Right, and then maybe right up on the foreground right here, let's add some. Excellent. The nettle green that really pops out. Yeah. You'll see that when I outline it. Yeah. All right, so there's our water feature. We'll go ahead and draw in our palm trunks. And when I'm drawing these, I like to add a little bit of texture to them right back there. But actually, I need to sharpen my pencil because it's gotten too thick. Four minutes, huh? Yes. Coming down to this. Need to get a jet in here. What color is water when it shoots up in the jet? It's right, it's white. So we're just gonna hint, if there's water right there, we leave a lot of white space in it, yeah? We'll make that look really good when we use our black. What else do we do? Oh, look, we got some people over here. There's a wall right there which will color, but I'm gonna do some more foliage green down here for some shrubbies. Remember, I'm kind of going really fast on this. You guys can just watch me. And then down here, there's something a little bit lower as we're going down that slope, yeah? And I'm gonna make this darker than some of these greens in the background, like this tree in the background. It's not gonna have anywhere near the amount of detail for this guy. And the color is gonna be just that one light green, okay? What did I use for that? Leafy. So watch, we're just gonna come through. Fast as possible. An outline of a tree back there, yeah? Now these guys are in the mid-ground, so we can actually a similar coloring to this, which I think was is that nettle. Maybe we use one of these other greens. What's this? Yeah, we're gonna do these guys in woodland green, okay? We don't really have a good accent color, but I just want to make them slightly different colors so you can see. You can see them. And this one in the foreground is going to have more detail on it, right? This, I guess this is the mid-ground. That was woodland. And then let's come in with this meadow. Add a little more detail in this foreground. Now look, so there's my foreground shrubs, right? They're dark. Now there's gonna be shrubs in that background, so I'm gonna use a lighter green. I mean, what I used over there, we're gonna use this lighter green. But they sink back into the background a little bit. See that? Look at that. Even just a change in color makes this guy come to the foreground and that guy drop back. Yeah. All right, we're almost there. Well, we're almost to having to outline everything in black. That's going to take ages. But I'll just do a little bit of it. Now for that trellis right there, I think we're going to use not dark timber. I know what you're thinking. No, I'm going to use this chestnut. But watch. Remember, this trellis should be in front of that thing. So we're going to come in and have to do a little bit of erasing so that palm tree goes behind it. Yeah. Actually, the palm tree should be behind some of these trees too. That's chestnut, yeah. And I'm pressing down pretty hard because this is in the foreground, yeah. Kind of. Okay. That's most of it. Now we gotta outline it all, okay? I might come in and add a little bit more color right here. Maybe these guys are flowering with some of that oak tree yellowish color. That could look nice too. There are palm trees. Just give them some light. Mint gray. They'll pop out more. Okay. Now we got our parallel ruler. We make this thing work. Find that section line. Come over here. Rotating my pencil so it's nice and approximately equal. Right, and then actually you can see that the grade drops down a little bit and then jumps back up. Right, and then over here we've got this wall. Now, when you guys are just starting out, I would highly recommend that you use straight edges for all of this unless you can draw a straight line. Yeah. Now, then coming down the slope, I'm gonna use the edge of my pencil. I'm gonna add some of that line weight variation in there. Yeah. Right? Ah, dog, this is coming along. Right? This is totally the same. Like, well, okay, maybe not. Maybe she's mad. Maybe the second take you stood her up on. And she's like, yeah, you're out of the workshop. You know? Or maybe he's like, I don't believe you're out of work. Who stays in class on a holiday till 5:30? Right? Look, we're gonna do this, and we're gonna get this. Get a little tap on this water feature right here. Oh my gosh. Over here too, yeah. We're gonna do this little line here, nice and thin. Yeah, especially on your kid's birthday, right? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you wonder why he's pulling the plug on the projector, right? And he's ready to go. Ready to go. So there's some, we need to draw these people in real quick. We're gonna call it right, the sun lady's coming over. Checking out with you. I don't know. Yeah, kind of looks like that, right? This guy's like checking out his cell phone, he's still working. It's a holiday, but he's still working, you know. And then she's right here, she's wearing a dress. Dress. Her kid is here too. You didn't think the kid was there, but it is. Right. Couple of kids. Kids are having a good time. Or one kid, it's one kid. Now watch, I'm gonna start doing these plants in the foreground, right, or mid-ground. Start refining those. This guy too. Don't forget the fleas. Fleas are coming. Oh, you want me to make this? If only we had a color for stone, for a dark stone. Only we had a color we could use for dark stone. What should we use, people? I know. Dark timber. Dark timber. If there isn't a cologne called dark timber, you guys need to get on that, okay?
Yeah.
Now watch, we're gonna add this dark timber stone right in here, yeah? Gosh, that is nice. Dark timber. This guy's also gonna get some dark timber in here, yeah? Now watch, because this is in the foreground and I want you to look at it and say, wow, that's a nice stone, I'm gonna add a little bit of texture to these stones, yeah? Add a little bit of texture. This. Some flagstone happening. Watch, right? There's your water fountain. And then this has an over, this is a lip on it, so we got that little bit of shadow right in that. One over here, these. And this lady's gonna be casting a shadow too. If you forget to put shadows on people, then they're not really people, they're vampires, right?
Yes.
Everybody knows that. All right, real quick, let's do this trellis too, yeah? This is when the parallel ruler comes in super handy. Right? Like that. Just come in. This is the foreground one, or you kind of do the detail. You guys too. Dark lines. Right, and in the background, all it is an inner line, just outline of those real quick, yeah? Dots. Now, after on tree, all using this. Yeah. I will have to make an architecture joke here. You'll pardon me. Come on, there's good tension there, right? Yeah. No, so I don't like drawing buildings, right? It's gonna take me forever to draw these buildings. So I always just put big plans in front of it. It's so much easier. And then the architect's like, I can't see my building. I'm like, I know. Yeah, and they're like, wait. But what about that amazing facade I just did? I'm like, yeah, well, I'm not gonna draw it, right? I could actually look. So I'm gonna use my parallel ruler to the max here, yeah? You're drawing these things. Oh, oh, oh. But it'll look good. Now watch, on the brick, I'm gonna do a little big dash line coming down. There's a little bit of texture in the brick. That's a little bit. Right? Yeah. Okay, cool. We'll see you tomorrow, yeah? No. You know what we're scheduled?
It's just touch.
Yeah. How long was scheduled?
I think you're really soon. 10 to.
Then it was, yeah.
That sounds good. Fantastic. Good job.
I mean, look how long it takes me to draw this window, right? Yeah. Somebody put a shrub in front of that thing. Look, look at it flat. Oh, look at that shadow there, right? Now watch, okay, I'm gonna draw one building for you guys, and I'm gonna add the shadows, because that's what's gonna make it stand. But imagine if you had me for a teacher, all your friendships would be gone. Right? Oh, you don't have friends. Yeah. Then pretty soon you're like, spend all day with these people. Anyway, maybe I should. First you were like, man, these people, I don't know about this. And then you're like, well. No one else is saying that, so. I guess I'll talk to these people. That's how it was with my. Board. Okay, so there, so I would draw something like that, yeah? Watch, this is when it gets really cool, watch this, last one, I'm spending all day to do this. Little bit of shadows being cast by our buildings, right? Or I mean by our trees on our buildings. You can actually come in, this guy's gonna be casting the shadow up, like this maybe. Right, so then we have maybe this guy casting the shadow, and look, maybe something a little bit like this stuff. Then this big tree would be doing something like this. Right, and up here too. Little details, you can use a big pencil. And that's a little bit of that. Right? Not bad for 45 minutes, right? That's good. It was longer. Full hour. Lied to you. I knew it was going to be an hour. I didn't want to just kept meeting you guys on, just trying to make you stay. Yeah, right. So I would continue that amount of detail across, yeah? All these buildings, but I will stop here if I can just put the pencil down. Oh, we need a thick line for this section, right? Okay. Pretty good, yeah? This guy needs to be close. Now, let's see what it looks like without the kid in the background. Yeah, because that's always the real. Right? So it looks something like that. Imagine, if you will, that this building detail continues over here, yeah? But that works pretty good, right? I mean, that was 1 hour, right? Pretty fast. So, yeah, if you're doing it for a while, if you practice it, it's just a great skill set you can have. Then if you make a mistake, you can just come in and change stuff. Cool? So tomorrow I will show you how to cut a section in SketchUp. And I'll show you how to export that section into SketchUp layout, and then you can scale it, yeah? So you can easily, if you've taken the time to build a 3D model, you can cut your sections really easy and just trace it like this, yeah? Very nice, okay? Woo! Any questions on this? Thank God we're done. Is that the question? Good work, guys. Just want to draw this one line, okay? Don't hate this. All right, we can go ahead and clean up. If you're not doing so already, please do. If you're done, please help clean up a little bit. Tomorrow we'll meet here, what time? Probably just do like 10 to 2 or something like that for sketching.
Oh, I'd love to. Do we have some?
Is it still there?
Let's see what it's. They do it out.
It does, oh, man.
Yeah. It'll work, right?